There is no voting on social media. To vote, you would require a permanent voter's card. To get your PVC, visit cvr.inecnigeria.org. Create your account with a valid email address and start the registration process. An activation link will be sent to you. Click on the link and activate your account. Fill out the form, pick and submit a convenient date and time for your biometrics. Print the application slip, which should have your QR code. On the appointed date, go to the nearest INEC office for your biometric capturing. Thereafter, you will get a registration slip to pick your permanent voter's card when ready. Get your PVC today. This message is from PlusTvAfrica.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect them.
If you no talk, then go beat you.
Now 2,500 and they pay.
On Plus TV News now. Nigerians lament as FG orders barring of outgoing calls on unlinked SIM cards. Nigeria to become Africa's fertilizer powerhouse. And Ali Abdul Rahman denies war crime suspect charges. Good evening. I am Maureen Minongwe-Zigwe, and this is the news. As expected, many Nigerians have been unable to make calls with their SIM cards after the deadline of NIN SIM linkage exercise. Plus TV News correspondent Love Ikukoyedeko was at the National Identity Management Commission office in Ikeja, where she met some who have been caught in the web.
The deadline for the NIN SIM linkage was extended on multiple occasions by the authorities. This was to allow Nigerians freely comply with the policy. Despite many postponements, some people failed to comply.
People have been telling me to go and do it, but I just take it lightly. Maybe it's not something that is meaningful. But now that they've blocked my line, so I have to run down to do it.
These ones here said it was no fault of theirs.
I came to the NIN office. NIN office said I have to pay a sum of 15,000 naira before they can change the date of birth. And the date of birth is like I was born 1989, and then they gave me 1991. So, and it was so painful that I had to save up money to now pay up that amount. So coming here to come and rectify this thing, since November last year, up till now, it has not been corrected.
In registration, I had an issue. I need to retrieve my line, and they told me my NIN is BVN generated. I need to come here and modify. And getting here, the crowd is so much. I left what I was doing to be, and they're telling me I have to start afresh. That's the process I am. It's crazy.
Lost my passport. I went to Abuja. I was captured. Okay, time to produce the passport. Immigration told me they could not produce my passport because my NIN number is showing invalid. So I had to hold on, call some people in NIMC, did this, did that. It didn't work.
Actually, I we filled the form, but there was a processing error. So the number was not coming out. So I was told to come to the head office to get the number.
All hope is not lost for those yet to register. A top official at NIMS who did not want to be quoted said the window of registration was still very much open. He said those whose lines have been barred can register at NIMS office and get it linked with their BVN at their respective banks. The National Identification Number, NIN, is a unique number which identifies you for life and is issued to you by the National Identity Management Commission, NIMS, after your enrollment. It is used to match you with your biometric data and other details in the National Identity Database during verification and authentication. The federal government had directed all Tescos to strictly enforce the policy on all SIMs issued, existing and new in Nigeria, effective from Monday, April 4, 2022. From Lagos, Love Ikuku Oyedoku, Plus TV News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has credited Nigeria's rising prominence as Africa's fertilizer powerhouse to the implementation of the right policies by the present administration. The president acknowledged this while receiving the Executive Committee of Fertilizer Producers and Suppliers Association of Nigeria at the State House, Abuja, on Tuesday. The president said this remarkable achievement in a very short period of time had ensured a steady flow of investments to the sector from the private sector, bringing prosperity to millions of Nigerians and good returns to the investors. Meanwhile, the CBN Governor, Godwin Emefiele, said fertilizer remained a key input to achieving food security. And in realization of this, the Apex Bank had continued to place great importance on its availability and accessibility by farmers to improve yield, productivity, and ultimately output. The Senate has extended the implementation year of the 2021 Appropriation Act from 31st March to 31st May 2022. The extension was approved following the consideration of a bill to amend the 2021 Appropriation Act. The bill was read on Tuesday for the first, second, and third times. The bill was sponsored by the Senate leader, Senator Yahya Abdullahi. Senator Abdullahi explained that the extension of the budget period became imperative in view of the need to complete ongoing projects nearing completion. A total of 3 bills on Tuesday's killed second reading on the floor. The Senate on Tuesday at plenary passed a bill to repeal and reenact the National Commission for Colleges of Education Act of 1989. Also passed was the bill to establish the Federal Polytechnic, Orozo. The bills were passed following the consideration of 2 separate reports by the Committee on Tertiary Institution and TET Fund. Senator Nora Ladi Dadut, APC Plateau, presented the report on behalf of the committee chairman Ahmed Baba Keita. She said the bill also seeks to make 65 years the official retirement age from service. Present at the meeting where the House of Representatives held a closed-door meeting with security chiefs today, headed by the Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila. Present at the meeting were the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, Chief of Naval Staff, Admiral Awal Zubeiru Gambo, and Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Isiaka Mao. Also present were Director General, National Intelligence Agency, Ambassador Ahmed Rufai Abubakar, Director General, Department of State Service, DSS Yusufu Magaji Bichi, and Inspector General of Police Usman Al-Kali Baba.
We had extensive deliberation. A lot of the issues we discussed there, unfortunately, as defense matters go, were not things for public consumption. But I can assure you that there was a lot of collaboration, a lot of ideas came together in terms of how the security agencies can work together as opposed to speak together in one voice as opposed to different voices. We're talking about the all-important issue of whether or not there are elements within the military themselves that we need to deal with the issue of moles, like some have stated. We talked about training and retraining. We talked about the issue of capacity and allowances. We talked about several things. A lot of them, like I said, touch on security, and I'm not at liberty at this point. But for us to have been in there for 4 or 5 hours, you must know that we made some good headway and extensive decisions were made.
Concerned about current security threats across the country, the 36 state governors and speakers of houses of assembly are to hold an emergency meeting on Friday in Abuja. The meeting is to discuss insecurity and other issues of national importance. Participants will brainstorm to find urgent solutions to pertinent issues. The NGF chairman, Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi, had admonished governors to promptly facilitate the speakers in their various states to attend. The House of Representatives has resolved to investigate the rise in the cost of diesel and cooking gas with a view to cushioning the effects on Nigerians. This is sequel to a unanimous adoption of a motion by Representative Chike Okafor, APC Imo, at the plenary on Tuesday. Moving the motion, Okafor said that the Nigerian Mainstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority was created in August 2021 in line with the Petroleum Industry Act. He said that part of its mandate is to provide effective regulatory oversight, ensure sufficient product distribution and supply at equitable and fair prices. According to him, almost all businesses and households in Nigeria depend on diesel power generators as an alternative source of electricity. Okafor said if the ugly trend of the increasing price of diesel is not checked, the multiplier effect will spell doom for Nigeria's economy. In his ruling, Speaker of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila, mandated the committees on petroleum resources, downstream and upstream, and gas resources to investigate the matter and report within 6 weeks. The House of Representatives Committee on Unclaimed Funds grilled the National Business and Technical Examination Board. It also grilled the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund, NSITF, over unremitted 3.8 billion naira and 268 million naira owed the federal government. These figures are reported by the chairman of the committee, Honorable Unyema Idem, and came from documents submitted by the MDAs on request by the committee to its consultant. The aim is to mop up all revenues hanging in most MDAs, which the government needed to fund its budget towards providing social amenities for Nigerians. The committee requested both agencies to furnish it with detailed information of all funds belonging to the federal government at their disposal by next week.
Just few hours ago, we have been able to take, I think, NAPTEP. They appeared here based on the documents submitted so far, though they still have a lot of documents to submit, but so far we have been able to discover infractions to the tune of 268 million, money that belongs to the federal government of Nigeria. We have asked them to let us know when that money will be paid directly to federal government accounts, in which they promise us that they will come back after reconciliation and then let us know when the money will be paid. Then a few minutes ago, we also discharged Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Funds, though not acquitted, but we just asked them to also go and reconcile their record and also interface with the consultants and then come back to us. Their infraction is to the tune of 3.8 billion. That's what they are owing the federal government of Nigeria.
For upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on PlusTvAfrica.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect them.
If you no talk, then go beat you.
Now 2,500 they pay.
Welcome back. You're still watching news now on PlusTvAfrica. Dr. Bukola Saraki has pointed out that Nigeria is in dire need of competent leaders to reverse the country's slide into poverty, insecurity, and anarchy. He's also of the opinion that PDP presidential hopefuls from the north are working for a consensus candidate to foster desired unity in the country. Saraki made his position known in Asaba when he led other aspirants on a consultative visit to the Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa at Government House, Asaba. According to him, Nigeria was the largest economy in Africa under the PDP. He regrets that the country is now the poverty and kidnapping capital of the world under the APC. Governor Okowa thanked the visitors for coming to intimate him on their plans. He agrees that consensus candidacy is indeed in the best interest of the unity of the party and the country.
Interest of the party that we should come together and look at the consensus arrangement, because we believe that the country needs the unity, and we cannot be saying that we ourselves do not act in that same manner. We're all eminently qualified, but we believe that this time right, only one person will lead, and that person needs everybody to make Nigeria better, needs everybody to fix this country. And I should be showing that our interest is second to that of the country.
Meet together to think about the best way possible for us to get out of the very difficult situation that we find ourselves as a country is very heartwarming. I truly want to thank you for putting yourselves together and starting this journey of trying to educate the rest of us from across various states on the need for us to build a consensus, because I believe that that will reduce the acrimony and help to position us as a party.
Well, from Delta State, the presidential aspirants under the PDP recently visited the Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel and made suggestions towards fielding a consensus candidate for the 2023 elections. The meeting was held on Monday night at the government house in Uyo, Akwa Ibom. The delegation included the Bauchi State Governor, Senator Bala Mohammed, his Sokoto State counterpart, Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, the former Senate President Bukola Saraki, and Mohammed Hayatuddin. Governor Emmanuel affirmed his support for the One Nigeria cause and stressed the need to build a team of patriots to tackle the nation's challenges on time. Former Governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, has withdrawn his membership of the PDP Zoning Committee. Fayose disclosed this in a letter dated April 5th and addressed to the chairman of the committee, Governor Samuel Otom of Benue State, on Tuesday. Fayose in the letter cited his ambition to run for president in 2023 as a reason for his withdrawal. He added that his state had nominated Dr. Gbenga Fasheluka to replace him. The People's Democratic Party crisis in Anambra State has deepened with the suspension of its acting chairman, Oke Asolo, for allegedly insulting Chris Uba. The acting chairman's suspension was contained in a statement in Awka on Tuesday, signed by Obinna Obialo and Obinna Obichinyere, chairman and secretary of the party in Ward 13 Onitsha North, respectively. The party said anybody that insults its leaders like Uba would not go unscathed. The suspension of Usolo followed a letter he signed last week suspending Uba and Linus Ukachukwu for alleged anti-party activities. And ahead of the 2023 general elections, INEC on Tuesday advised political parties to ensure their primaries are properly conducted in line with relevant laws. INEC warned that it will not hesitate to disqualify parties in primaries that do not adhere strictly to the principles of internal democracy. It also advised parties to avoid contentious primaries that may lead to unnecessary lawsuits. Benue State Independent Electoral Commission has announced a new date for the conduct of election into the 23 local government area councils in the state. The state chairman of the commission, Dr. Terso Loko, gave the announcement and said the new date of election is now 30th of April 2022 instead of the 7th of May 2022 to avoid a clash with the INEC timetable.
Earlier slated for 7th May 2022 will now hold on 30th April 2022. The new dates for the election became necessary in order to avoid the clash with the Independent Electoral Commission, INEC, General Election Timetable, which is the mother commission. All political parties and relevant stakeholders are to also note the new dates on the timetable and follow accordingly. Activities mostly affected are submission of names of polling agents by political parties, now Monday 25th April 2022 from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Termination of campaign that's Thursday 28 April to 2022 by 12 midnight. Election and declaration of results Saturday 30th April 2022. Publication of results Tuesday 12 May 2022.
Minister of Information and Culture Alhaji Lai Mohammed on Tuesday in Abuja advocated greater devolution of authority to local councils to enable them perform optimally. The minister made the call while addressing participants of Senior Executive Course 44 2022 of the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies, Kuru, near Jos. They had visited him on a study tour. Participants on the study tour are researching into strengthening local governance in Nigeria, challenges, options, and opportunities. It's a topic assigned to them by President Muhammadu Buhari. The minister observed that local governments are critical to entrenching democracy and bringing about rapid development at the grassroots. He expressed regrets that the third tier of government had remained inefficient and ineffective because of challenges, particularly that of the lack of full autonomy. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu Ahmed has donated 50 million naira to the victims of the terrorist attack on the Kaduna-bound train from Abuja. Tinubu announced the donation when he paid a condolence visit to Governor Nasir El-Rufai. Tinubu was received by Governor El-Rufai and senators representing Kaduna Central, Ubasani, and Kaduna North, Suleiman Abdul Kwari at the Sir Kashim Ibrahim House in Kaduna, the state capital. Tinubu said the train attack was a national disaster that demanded everyone's attention. He also expressed his concern about the string of attacks in Kaduna State, which he said has claimed too many lives and led to the destruction of property worth millions. The Osun State government says it is partnering with Hase Health Initiative, HHI, in digitizing medical record and data collection in the state. Special Advisor on Public Health, Dr. Siji Olamiju, said the collaboration with one of the partners of HHI, Dr. Keith Hanna, would help collect, read, and analyze data from primary, secondary, and tertiary health institutions.
It is an initiative that will actually strengthen our data capturing and data management system in the state, which is actually centering on the maternal and child health, antenatal care and the maternal cases in the state. And it is a welcome idea. You know, Mr. Governor has said that our hands are open to any organization, individual, or whether corporate, to who wants to, extend hands of fellowship to us, to, engender quality health for the citizenry of the state of Osun.
So we're excited to bring digital interventions to Osun State, and we're looking to reduce maternal mortality, but also cut across different verticals such as malaria nets, immunization. No other programs, digital programs, are able to cut across these different verticals. And we've just heard how important that is in Osun State. So we hope to do this.
Digital health solution focused on supporting the state in managing maternal health data in primary health facilities across the state. So today we've been in a lengthy discussion with the state on how best we can work together to ensure that this digital solution works for everyone in the state and is adaptable and meets the needs of the state.
The federal government has detected over 1,500 workers who joined the federal civil service with fake appointment letters in the past year. Over 1,000 culprits were said to have been discovered in one ministry, while 500 others were found in other ministries, departments, and agencies. It was during a service-wide verification exercise. They'll all be delisted from the Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System. A strict enforcement of the building code by developers is the panacea to the unabated menace of building collapse in the country. This was the position of the chairman of the Nigeria Institute of Architects Lagos chapter, David Majekodumi, while briefing newsmen ahead of the 13th edition of the Lagos Architects Forum. Justin Akadonye tells us more.
The 2022 Lagos Architect Forum is themed The City of Lagos, What is Lagos? It seeks to bring stakeholders to dialogue on where Lagos has been, where it is now, and the expectations for tomorrow. However, pressing issues affecting the building and construction sector in Lagos are brought to the fore.
If the professionals in the building industry have gathered together to do what is best practice globally, to come up with a national building code. I don't want to go that route to tell you how many years this, or the first draft, or the first edition, or the third edition, or the fourth edition has been made. Now, part of the law is still part of the advocacy, so that we create that awareness between the people, the public, the government, the legislative body, so as to fasten up, making the enabling law.
The architects speak on plans to reach the hinterlands as well as other emerging issues, including the development of the waterfronts in Lagos.
And we sat with the leaders in Makoko and trying to make them understand why the waterfront development is the next big thing for Lagos. We actually went into the Makoko area like that, to educate and to inform them that we hear your cries and we can see how we are living.
So if you want to have a strong built environment, you should be able to work together actively, passively, and in every way with your fellow professionals in the built industry.
The forum brings together experts, thought leaders, leading professionals from Lagos and around the world to discuss on issues and trends, as well as encourage networking among participants. Justin Akadonye, PlusTV News, Lagos.
Well, Nigerians continue to speak out in anger as power supply continues to get worse. That's on Street Views. Take it.
I burn generator from almost on daily basis. I mean, by the time I calculate the money I spend for fuel on daily basis, and I honestly tell myself the truth that this power issue is something else. It's really dealing with us Nigerians.
This thing is affecting so many companies. My daughter has a company. I know how many fuel we run every day. People that cannot afford such, they end up packing up and going to other countries. Can I say in a month we'll have like 3 times? Is that power supply? So every day I burn fuel. Every day I buy fuel 2,000 in my house. It's very ridiculous.
We are being cheated. There is no light. I live at Ikoyi. They don't give us light. Like 3 times a week, and it's about 2 to 3 hours, and it's gone. There is money in this country, but we don't know where the money is going to. No water, no light, no good roads. What can we do?
It's affecting me. It's affecting me. See me as I'm sweating. If I bath finish like this, I begin sweating. In the evening, sweating. Midnight, sweating. All my children, they are sick now. No lights, and they are still bring the bill. Where is the money? And now, the bill is high. What are we using? Fan, television. So it's finished. I'm fit. I'm not using the oven. I'm not using washing machine. And they are bringing crazy bill for what? And no light. We are suffering from this Nigeria.
There is no light in my area. No single light. But we are paying for light, but we never see light. Sometimes, once in 2 weeks. Sometimes you will not even see it.
Still ahead, Zimbabwe lifts restrictions on public gatherings as COVID-19 cases ease. Details when we return. Welcome back. A former militia leader in Sudan has denied committing war crimes and crimes against humanity as his landmark hearing opened at the International Criminal Court. 72-year-old Ali Mohammed Ali Abdurrahman is accused of leading thousands of pro-government fighters on a systemic campaign of murder, rape and torture during the height of violence in the Darfur region of Sudan between 2003 and 2004. He's alleged to have been a feared and revered commander of the Janjaweed militia deployed alongside Sudanese government forces to carry out a brutal counter-insurgency campaign after a rebellion against Khartoum by some local communities, leaving at least 300,000 people dead and displaced 2.5 million, according to the UN. The trial is the first at the International Criminal Court to deal with the Darfur conflict, and campaigners have said it shows that no impunity exists even for crimes committed nearly 2 decades ago. Allah Abdel Fattah has been on hunger strike since Saturday to protest his detention. In December, Abdel Fattah was sentenced to 5 years in prison for spreading false information, and his former lawyer Mohammed Al-Bakar and blogger Mohammed Ibrahim, also known as Oxygen, were sentenced to 4 years. Sentenced by a special court, they have no right to appeal. His sister Mona Saif took to Twitter to say that when she visited Abdel Fattah in prison on Monday, he refused to take the food she had brought to him. Zimbabwe has lifted restrictions on the number of people allowed at permitted public gatherings as it eases COVID-19 regulations, but the wearing of face masks, social distancing and hand sanitizing regime remain mandatory. In a statutory instrument published Tuesday, all public gatherings that are allowed to take place without prior notification to the police will no longer be restricted in terms of numbers. These include funerals, weddings, sports activities, and any other non-political meetings. The United Nations plans to have its own human rights expert investigate the killing of several hundred civilians in the Ukrainian town of Bucha. A 50-member UN team is to be stationed in the western Ukrainian city of Uzhhorod, about 800 kilometers from Kyiv and the suburb of Bucha. No date was given for the dispatch yet. An investigative commission of independent lawyers will also be looking into what happened in Bucha. Well, the impact of the war in Ukraine has placed West Africa on the brink of its worst food crisis in a decade. Aid agencies, including Oxfam, Save the Children, and World Vision, said they were concerned the war was worsening the already catastrophic situation in the region. More than 27 million people were already suffering from hunger in the region, and that number could rise by another 11 million by June. According to the United Nations estimates, 6.3 million children aged 6 months to 5 years perished in the region this year. This crisis was precipitated by a decline in cereal production due to droughts, floods, conflicts, and the economic impact of the coronavirus pandemic that had led food prices in West Africa to soar by up to 30% in the past 5 years. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky urged the United Nations on Tuesday to act and reform its system, which gives Security Council permanent member Russia a veto. He wants everything done to ensure the international body works effectively. In a passionate address to the United Nations Security Council, Zelensky described in details grim scenes in the Ukrainian town of Bucha, saying Moscow wanted to turn Ukraine into silent slaves. UN Aid Chief Martin Griffiths, who is seeking a humanitarian truce in Ukraine, believes it's still a long road ahead after meeting with Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov in Moscow on Monday. He wants civilians allowed to move to safer areas without the fear of attacks. Griffiths told the UN Security Council on Tuesday. He also hopes to travel to Ukraine on Wednesday to meet with Ukrainian officials. Russia invaded Ukraine on February 24th. Russia says it is carrying out a special military operation that aims to destroy Ukraine's military infrastructure and denazify it. Ukraine says it was invaded without provocation. More than 4 million Ukrainians have fled the country, the United Nations said. The United Nations plans to have its own human rights expert investigate the killings of several hundreds in the Ukrainian town of Bucha. A 50-member UN team is to be stationed in the western Ukrainian city of Azgurda. I've just read that. I'm sorry. The Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett condemned on Tuesday the killing of civilians documented in the Ukrainian town of Bucha, but he stopped short of accusing Russian forces of responsibility. Israel has been restrained in its criticism of Russia during the Ukraine crisis, citing Bennett's effort to broker peace. Israel also wants to keep channels open to the Russian military in Syria, where it often mounts airstrikes on Iranian assets. And Britain has urged G7 and NATO nations on Tuesday to ban Russian ships from their ports and agree a timetable to phase out oil and gas imports from Russia. Speaking in Poland ahead of a meeting of NATO and G7 countries later this week, British Foreign Secretary Liz Truss said she wanted the country's allies to go further in applying sanctions to Russia. Russian ships have already been banned from British ports, and the country and its allies have already sanctioned Russian banks and taken steps to cut Moscow off from the international financial system. Earlier, the European Commission proposed sweeping new sanctions against Russia, including banning coal imports and preventing Russian vessels and trucks from accessing the bloc.
On Thursday, I will be urging our NATO and G7 partners to go further in sanctions by joining us in banning Russian ships from our ports, cracking down on more Russian banks, going after industries that are filling Putin's war chest, like gold, and agreeing a clear timetable to eliminate imports of Russian oil, coal and gas. We've all been shocked by the scenes from Bucha. These are appalling acts of the kind we thought we'd left in the 20th century. We will hold those responsible to account for what they've done, in particular the reports of rape and sexual assault. I want the OSCE to investigate so that the full reality is brought to light, and I know that Poland is already conducting its own investigations.
Twitter Incorporation said on Tuesday it will name top shareholder and Tesla boss Elon Musk to its board, a day after the billionaire disclosed a 9.2% stake in the social media company. Musk will serve as a Class 2 director, with the term expiring at Twitter's 2024 annual meeting of stakeholders. Twitter shares surged 6% in trading before the opening bell, after closing up over 27% on Monday. Up next, CBN warns against illegal operators of financial services. That's in Business Break after this short break.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect them. If you no talk, then go beat you. Now 2,500 they pay.
You're welcome to the business news. I am Adebanke Odunui. Private sector credit in Nigeria has hit unprecedented levels, standing at 24.45 trillion naira as of the end of January 2022, which represents a whopping 4.19 trillion year-on-year increase. This is according to data obtained from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. Nigeria's private sector credit has been on a consistent rise since June 2021, the latest being a 68 billion naira increase from 24.38 trillion naira recorded as of December 2021 to 24.45 trillion naira as of the end of January 2022. Nigerians have been reminded by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to avoid engaging with illegal and unregistered financial operators who entice and scam members of the public with large profits. This was contained in a circular released on the CBN website. The Apex Bank told the public to check the websites of the CBN, the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and other relevant members of the agencies of the FSRCC before investing in such companies and schemes. The federal government of Nigeria has announced plans to build a $272 million 5.76-kilometer rail track in the Federal Capital Territory. Secretary of the Federal Capital Territory Administration Transportation Secretariat, Zachary Dobi, said this after inspecting vandalized light rail track station and Idu Training Center on Monday in Abuja. He revealed that the bill for the construction of the light rail track is currently on the way to the FCT minister's table. Cinema operators in Nigeria have generated a revenue of 346.6 million naira in the month of March 2022 compared to the 301.46 million naira in February. This was disclosed in a statement by the Cinema Exhibitors Association of Nigeria, CIAN President Patrick Lee. The associations also cited that it is a 45% increase compared to 189 million earned in March 2021. And that is the business news. I am Adebanke Odunui. The news continues.
Well, thank you, Adebanke. And up next is entertainment news.
Nollywood actress Funke Akindele has explained the reasons why she hides the faces of her kids. The movie star made this known during a recent chat. She said, "When they're old enough, they should show their faces if they want to. But for now, I don't want them to show their faces. I want them to have their lives and enjoy it." According to the actress, she is already in the spotlight and wouldn't want that for her kids. Akindele and her husband, JJC Skills, welcomed their set of twins back in 2018. Amy Schumer thanks the 2022 Academy Awards incident in which Will Smith hit Chris Rock in the response to a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith was based on toxic masculinity. Schumer said, "I don't even know what to say about the Oscars. I have no jokes about it. All I can say is that it was really sad, and I think it says so much about toxic masculinity. It was really upsetting." Will has since publicly apologized to Rock and announced that he was resigning from the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences due to his behavior at the ceremony, where he won Best Actor. Guinea's close ones clearly have an ordinary way to pay respect to him following his death. The rapper's dead body was propped up in a club in an appalling funeral over the weekend. According to reports, the 24-year-old dead body was put on display on the stage of Bliss nightclub in Washington, D.C. on Sunday for a homegoing celebration. Videos circulating online show his apparent embalmed body propped up on stage wearing designer clothing and a crown. A source who attended the public memorial titled The Last Show said attendee was charged $40 to enter the venue. The nightclub has since released an apology for the event, claiming that they were unaware of what would transpire. Gunyu, whose real name is Marco Antonio Morrow, was killed during a shooting incident in District Heights, Maryland.
Well, up next is sports news.
Hello and welcome to Sports News on Plus TV Africa. Despite the Super Eagles' failure to qualify for the Qatar 2022 World Cup, Austin Eguavoen hopes for another chance to lead the team. Eguavoen led the team to a bronze medal at the 2006 Africa Cup of Nations before taking over as interim coach in 2010, following the departure of Lars Lagerberg and before Samson Siasia was appointed. The 56-year-old, who stepped down as interim coach of the Eagles after arch rivals Ghana forced Nigeria to a 1-1 draw in Abuja to qualify for Qatar 2022. On the away goal rule, insisted he remained one of the Super Eagles' best coaches. If there is still an opportunity for me, I will want to coach the Eagles again, but not at this moment, maybe later, Eguavoen said, while blaming his side's failure to qualify on a lack of character and courage in the second leg in Abuja. Now, Australia's cricket team returned to Melbourne on Tuesday, April 5th, after winning the World Cup in New Zealand after going unbeaten in 9 matches, erasing their 2017 World Cup disappointment in which they were defeated in the semi-finals by India in England. The Australians have now won 3 of the last 5 50-over World Cups and hold both major global trophies, having won the T20 World Cup in their home country in 2020. The team captain Meg Lanning went on to say that the team is now looking forward to the Commonwealth Games and another T20 World Cup.
We went over to New Zealand with a completely different squad, a different mindset, and to be able to play that well and go through undefeated is a great testament to the team and the hard work that we've put in. Not just the players, but the support staff as well. They've played a massive role in allowing us to go out there and play our best cricket and enjoy it. Oh, I think it's a hard comment to make. There's been some amazing women's and men's players who've really contributed a lot to the game, and we're in a lucky position, a privileged position to be able to create another chapter and more memories. So I think it's hard to compare. There's been some amazing players and teams throughout, and we're just glad to be able to be playing well at the moment.
Tiger Woods could make his first appearance at a major tournament since suffering career-threatening injuries in February 2021. The 15-time major champion practiced at Augusta National on Monday and is set to make a game-time decision on his participation at this week's Masters. The 46-year-old, who suffered serious leg injuries in a car crash last year, has won the Masters 5 times, most recently in 2019. That win is regarded as one of sport's greatest comebacks, following years of back surgeries and personal issues for Woods.
Golf is such a selfish game because it's an individual sport. And whilst he was missed, and I missed him terribly, I can't answer for other people. There was so much excitement around the tournament. It was the most historical golf Masters in the history of the game, and I'll explain to you that in a minute. But I can only tell you at the Masters dinner, with 33 champions in the room, it was brought up and everybody said, hear, how much we miss Tiger, and we hope he'll be back soon. And to the contrary, most people are saying he'll never play again. I know in my heart, Tiger Woods is a special man. He will come back and play play the tournament again. Tiger Woods has raised the needle. He has done so much for golf.
And that's all the sports news we have for you for now. Join us next time. My name is Mikhail Tinubu. Have a good night.
And the main news again. Nigerians lament as FG orders barring of outgoing calls on unlinked SIM cards. Nigeria to become Africa's fertilizer powerhouse. And Ali Abd Ar-Rahman has denied war crime suspect charges leveled against him. Well, that's the news now. For more stories, please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And do subscribe to our YouTube channel at PlusTvAfrica and PlusTvAfrica Lifestyle. I am Maureen Menongwe-Zigwe. Thanks for watching.
There is no voting on social media. To vote, you would require a permanent voter's card. To get your PVC, visit cvr.inecnigeria.org. Create your account with a valid email address and start the registration process. An activation link will be sent to you. Click on the link and activate your account. Fill out the form, pick and submit a convenient date and time for your biometrics. Print the application slip, which should have your QR code. On the appointed date, go to the nearest INEC office for your biometric capturing. Thereafter, you will get a registration slip to pick your permanent voter's card when ready. Get your PVC today. This message is from PlusTvAfrica.
So what are the top decisions that the United States considers necessary that Nigeria must take? I like to think of my interactions as conversations, not interviews. And that's why I say asking questions is both an art and a science. Everyone says in Islam you are allowed to have 4 wives. Is it mandatory? The right question enables answers that educate, inform, clarify, and help you, the viewer, to better understand the issue before making up your mind.
Our goal is to reduce from 10 to 2 days the time it takes to register businesses in Nigeria.
Join me every week on this station, PlusTvAfrica, and gain exclusive access to my conversations. I'm Angela Ajetumobi.
This is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on PlusTvAfrica.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect them.
If you no talk, then go beat you.
Now 2,500 they pay.
How can we have peace without justice?
Plus politics. It's not just another political conversation. It's about keeping you
in the know. The relevant interviews, asking the tough questions to those that matter. Get the answers you need. Does it mean that the people who were injured, people who were shot at, those who were involved in that stampede are not going to get justice?
It is unfortunate, it is sad that we have a government of deaf and dumb.
Analysis from top experts.
The last election was not really an election.
We feel that Obasanjo has a very special place in his heart for hating Ijaw people.
I think it really boils down to two things. One, trust and accountability.
Plus Politics, every weeknight at 7 p.m. on Plus TV Africa.
Hello guys, welcome to Tea Time, and of course it is a green day. I hope your life is as green as I'm looking right now, and of course you know what time it is. It is time for tea, and when we're doing the tea, sometimes we spill, sometimes we keep, sometimes we dissect, sometimes we analyze, and sometimes we have intellectual conversation. Actually, all the time we have intellectual conversation, and I never do this alone. I always have a super duper personality with me in the studio. Today I have the lady Elile, looking beautiful as ever in the building. Welcome. How you doing?
I have not told you before, but I love the way you do this. The way you do the introduction. It sounds so nice.
Oh, yeah.
See the way I was smiling right from the beginning.
Thank you very much.
How you doing this morning?
Yeah.
You're popping.
I know, right? And the light is even making it better. Yes, please. Can Nigerian song be like this?
Glow baby.
You know, people be like, oh, they used to do makeup for you after the show. Because I'm like, okay.
Because the freshness is overflowing, right?
Yeah, get it. Don't worry, you don't have to spill it. Anyways, guys, you know you can join the conversation by calling in on 0909 8408 8408. 0909 8408 8408. All right, to share your opinions on trending discussions. And of course, you know, we bring to you trending videos that you guys are probably seeing and been talking about. And in case you haven't even seen it, of course, you know you're in for a laugh or in for a while. So let's see this one real quick.
When she says she prefers home workouts.
See this one, oh. What are you doing? Hey, register for gym. You still want to work out at home? Eh? Pringles and gym.
When she says she prefers home workouts.
See this one, oh. What are you doing? Hey, register for gym. You still want to work out at home? Eh? Pringles and gym.
My kind of girl. Cause I'm probably gonna be that guy. I probably, you know, I'll work out at home, not me. But I used to do that though.
And you actually used to work out.
What?
When you used to work out at home, were you
actually, when
were you actually working out?
Yes, now, but I think I've only registered at the gym once, and I think I went there 5 times out of the
So you're one of those people. You wasted your money.
I wasted the money. So I just told myself that my estate is big enough, so I jogged.
So you can jog around. Were you actually doing it?
I do it when I need to lose weight. I know when I'm getting too big.
But you do know that, you know, keeping fit is about keeping fit, not just about losing weight. Like going to the gym is not just about losing weight. You're one of those people. You only do things when you feel.
When I need it.